Number 4 asks us to graph the parabola. I am going to just find 3 points on my parabola really quick and be done. I see right away that my y-intercept is -8. So I can plot that point on my graph quickly. Now I need to find some x-intercepts. I could plug in some points and make an xy table if I wanted to. That would be totally fine. Like, I could say -1 here, and then I would plug that in. Y equals -1 squared minus 2 times -1 minus 8. And it would be totally okay. 1 plus 2 minus 8 is -5. And I could go through point by point here and do that. I prefer to just find the x-intercepts instead. So the x-intercepts can be found by factoring. I know that there's a shortcut for factoring because there is, the a term here is 1, so I don't have to do the x box. I can just factor this into 2 binomials. And I have to remember, my two numbers have to multiply to -8, and they have to add to -2. So I'm like, oh, what about -2 and 4? No, they don't add to a -2. So what about -4 and 2? There we go. -4, +2, and those are my factors. If I am not sure, I could multiply them back out, FOIL them. I am sure. So I'm going to now set these equal to 0 because my x-intercepts are where y equals 0. So add 4, and I get x equals 4 on that one, or 4 equals x, same thing. And then on this one, if I get x plus 2 equals 0, subtract 2, I get x equals -2. So now my two x-intercepts are at -2 and a +4, and you know what? That's enough for me. Those are in it, like totally enough points for me to see where my parabola is going to be approximately. If I want to find my vertex, let's just remember that formula. My vertex is -b. The x value is -b over 2a. So if I plug that in, I could do x equals -2 over 2a. That's 2 over 2. That's 1. So the x value of my vertex is 1. I would then plug that in. I would get y equals 1 squared minus 2 times 1 minus 8, which is 1 minus 2 minus 8, which is your -9. So that would be something else I could see here. Oh, we can write down some of these points. -2, 0. My 0 was -8. I'm seeing that 1 is -9, and my 4 is another 0. And get this guy, whoops. There we go. And that's totally, like, we're beyond doing enough here. So I'm just gonna connect these and call it good. Yay, go us. Number 5, we have to graph our inequality. I'm going to just write this as an equation first. Y equals x squared minus 6x plus 12. Okay. I'm going to think about this. Can I factor this first to find my x-intercepts? I need two numbers that multiply to 12 and add to a -6. What about -3 and -4? Do they add to a -6? No. What about -2 and -6? Does that add to a -6? No. Okay, so I will need to do my quadratic formula here. I can't figure out how to factor it. That's okay. So let me find my x-intercepts here. X equals negative b plus or minus the square root b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. I'm seeing my a is 1, my b is negative 6, and my c is 12. I'm going to get in here and see x equals negative 6 plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4 a c. And just like Miss Riddle taught me, I'm going to do my discriminant before I do anything else. So if I simplify my discriminant, b squared minus 4ac, I'm seeing 36 minus 48. Uh-oh, my discriminant is negative. So that means I'm actually not going to have any x-intercepts. If my discriminant is negative, there's no x-intercepts. So let's just plot some points then. Alright, so at 0, I already know that's 12. Let's plug in 1 and negative 1. I'm going to pause while I do some work on these. And then I want you to work on it yourself. You pause as well, and let's reconvene after we get some points on our parabola. I found some points. A couple things. I'm noticing that my y values are getting really big as I get towards negative 2 on my x. So I'm actually going to be coming back the other way on this one. Because my y equals 12 is like way off my graph up here. Now at 1, I'm at 7. I can graph that. Okay. Kind of hate the scale on this graph, but it's all good. And I want to know, where's my vertex? Where is this thing going to turn around? So remember, for my vertex, x is equal to negative b over 2a. So on this one, x equals negative 6 over 2 times 1. Negative 6 is 6, and 6 divided by 2 is 3. So if I plug in 3, that's going to get me my turnaround point for my vertex. We're going to call that good. So if x equals 3, then we're talking 3 squared minus 6 times 3 plus 12. 9 minus 18 plus 12. That's negative 9 plus 12. That's 3. There's my vertex. It's at 3, 3. And now I know I just turn back around. It's a parabola. Goes like this. There we go. And now, if you test the point 0, 0, you'll be able to tell, do you shade on the outside or on the inside? Let's try it. If x equals, or if we're talking 0 is less than or equal to 0 squared minus 6 times 0 plus 12, which those two cancel. 0 is less than or equal to 12. Is that true? Yes. So I shade on the outside here because that point right here makes this true, because this is true. Cool. Number 6.